Hey guys, how's it going? It's been a long time that I posted a video, but this time I have a different topic to talk about, and I'd like to present to you my new gun that I got. Oh well, it's a gun that I bought used on the market, and I'm very happy to share it with you. Of course, it's a Beretta, and this time it is a brand new, well, not a brand new again, but my very first DT11. Let's take a look. Get an awesome ABS box, a bit of high quality as compared to the Silver Pigeon, that is a basic line of Beretta. But this is what you have in the box, and it's the beautiful gun. Just to go through quickly what's all in the box, you get a standard set of chokes. These are all extended 20mm chokes, and I think there is, except for the full choke, there are all the chokes, usually 5 chokes, and they don't have the full choke in here, and instead there is a skeet choke inside the box. You have a box of spare parts. Take a look at it also at a later point in time, with some spare triggers, spare springs, and spare firing pins, and a couple of the front beads for the shotgun. You do have a tool. There is also a choke wrench included in it, which I do not have, but it's not a big deal. It's what you get for €5 on the internet, so no big loss. Obviously comes with 2 nice snap caps, branded Beretta. Usually the gun is inside gun sacks over here, but I don't have it. It was not included, also not a big deal, because the entire interior of this package is like velvet lined, and you also have a very nice I mean, the stock is very nicely secured here and doesn't ever scratch anywhere else. All right, let's just take it out of its container and have a closer look. All right, there you go. That's all what you have in the box. The bare minimum, what you need, the best in the world, the best shotgun in the competition world, and the flagship model from Beretta, the Beretta DT11. I got lucky during my purchase, I would say, although, like I've said previously in my Silver Pigeon video unboxing, that wood is not really important for me, and that hasn't changed. The wood is still not important for me, and the quality of wood is like very tertiary for me when it comes to buying a shotgun. But like I said, I got really lucky with it, and I got to have a really beautiful piece of wood on my DT11. And there, that's how it is. The camera might not do justice to it, but look at this. It is class 7 wood, at least what I got on it, and this is incredible. Like, to be honest, I just cannot believe how pretty this is. The pictures I saw on the internet when I was making the purchase did not absolutely make any justice to the quality of wood that you see, the beauty of wood that you see on it. Obviously, it's been used a couple of rounds through. It has roughly seen 6,000 rounds through it, and therefore you have some sort of ding somewhere. But that, like I said, again, it's not really super important. I was very pleased with what you get, and this model had an adjustable stock, came with an adjustable stock. It has a Beretta system inside it. It's called the BFAS system, also with weight balancing, etc. To be honest, right outside the box, this gun was very well balanced, and I didn't have to invest any time in setting the balance quite out. I mean, I like it a bit tail heavy, given that I shoot Olympic skeet. It fits perfectly. The checkering is extremely fine, and I think it's also laser checkered. I'm not sure about that, but it looks like laser checkering, and it's still quite rough, and kind of offers quite a lot of grip. I was initially a bit wary of the grip here, because I recently went to Italy and got myself a custom stock made, which was to my hand grip. I don't have enormously large hands. Like, I would say I have like substantially small hands, But despite that, I was quite happy with the way it fits. It does come with a palm swivel. You can see I'm like a right-handed shooter. You can see there's a dominant right-hand palm swivel. The gun comes in different configurations, like for example, left-handed. Most of the standard guns and standard stocks are right-handed, but you have to pay a bit extra if you want a left-handed stock. Typically, when you get this gun directly from your gun shop or your gun dealer, you probably might get a class 3 sort of wood, which is pretty basic, and it's nothing to complain about, given that these are like the workhorses of like some heavy-duty shooting. You don't really want to have like really high-class wood on it. But like I said, and I'm very happy about it, I got lucky and I got to have a beautiful piece of wood also on my awesome shotgun. So let's talk about the trigger and the system here. Well, this model that I have, this DT11 I have, is from the year 2012, and I have a sporting model in my hands. It's therefore comes with a barrel selector. As you can see here, it's barrel 1, and you move it, it's barrel 2. It's quite crisp, the moves, like it's absolute high quality, high class. There is no question about the build over here. It's absolutely fantastic, and despite having seen some life since 2012, it has had seen several shots. It is still very crisp and everything fits perfectly. With the system is also quite beautiful. You would see Beretta is like kept it minimalistic. There is not much of a engraving, although there are other models like DT11 LEEELL where you get all this hand engravings, which are pretty, to be honest. But like I said, I am shooting a lot and I'm getting better, so for me, I just like this minimalistic design. It's quite good, and the way it alternates between matte and shiny surfaces, it's just beautiful. I just love the style. It's very elegant and sporty at the same time. Beretta has definitely hit the artistic side of me inside over there, and also really love the way it is designed. With the trigger, obviously in stock, when you buy such an expensive gun, I mean, this gun retails new today in Germany. Depends where you buy and what configuration you'd buy it. A DT11 in the sporting configuration would cost you somewhere around 7,000 to 7,500 euros. Brand new, and mostly in Germany. Not a lot of people know or are not aware of this. For a DT11, when you buy a new DT11, a custom stock is in the price. It's included in the price. Not a lot of people make advantage of that. Anyway, since I bought this gun used, I did not have that. And apparently the first owner also bought an adjustable stock, so this is also not a custom stock. Apart from the fact that he just chose some expensive wood that looks quite nice. I just love it. Right, with the system part, design-wise is absolutely fine. Trigger pulls are extremely crisp. It has an adjustable trigger here, and just kind of pulled it a little bit back for my hands, because like I said, I don't have really large hands, and also that the distance between the trigger and the grip over here is quite large as compared to the custom grip that I got made, where I'm used to holding the gun like so further ahead, and my finger comes quite up over here. But in this case, it's a bit further away, and I had to adjust a little bit of the trigger pull. But this comes in handy, given that you can adjust this, move it further, and bring it back. So quite handy, and I just absolutely love it. Right, over here towards the inside, it's absolutely solid build construction. With the cross lock, like this is the most solid lock on a shotgun that is there, and also in the world that is there. It's like the best locking mechanism. So this cross bolt over here, and just kind of this part moves in outside and locks onto the two hunches that I will show you onto the barrel, and places the barrel extremely secure at this point. And I need to tell you this, I'm like particularly a big fan about how it sounds when you close this gun. the clunk that you get, it's absolutely fantastic. It's absolutely tight, and it just gives you a feeling that this gives you an idea of the high quality of the gun that this is built on it. Last weekend I also had my second skeet championship ever at the state level here where I live, and I wasn't sure. It was on Sunday, so I wasn't really sure if I was going to shoot with my new gun that is here. I don't have any practice with it, but I did take time, took a gamble, practiced on Friday with the gun, Saturday with the gun, and Sunday I had a competition. What can I say? I won a bronze medal out of it, and it was quite an interesting feeling. I just love the way you shoot with it. It's extremely awesome. Well, releasing the lever is also quite straightforward. You just press this knob over here, and there it goes back. The crossbow goes back into the place and neutralizes itself, and then you can lock it. Let's take a look at the barrels. The most interesting part of the DT11, that is the barrels. So Beretta says it has the Steelium Pro barrels that exactly, it has the Steelium sort of, or it's the technology that Beretta uses for making its barrels. It's a cold hammer forged process where they are like hammering the barrel with forms inserted inside when the barrel is cold. Then they heat it up so that the tension is released on it. Anyway, in layman terms, what it means is that it has a longer profile from the chamber. Let's get rid of the forend. It's also quite beautiful on the wood front. Just love it. Well, that's the core. I mean, if you talk about the brains of this gun, that's the heart of it, or let's say that's the brain and the heart of this. Like the barrels of the DT11, it has the Steelium Pro barrels, like it says so here. I don't know if you can see it. It does say so. But these are like the Steelium technology, and that's the best barrel that Beretta has to offer, which means that what it has to do basically is with the profile of the barrel. So they are like the cone, the forcing cone that goes, it starts from the chamber, and depending upon what type of barrels you have, for example, Steelium Plus and Steelium Pro, and the very normal barrels that you get on the starters. So starters such as the 686 Silver Pigeon. So just to give you an idea, for the case of Silver Pigeon or so, the forcing cone ends exactly at here, just right about outside of the chamber. That similar is the case with the DT10, where the forcing cone is also quite small. But in case of a DT11, it goes until 48 centimeters from the chamber, which is quite a lot, like until at this point. What this basically does is it gradually reduces the size of the diameter of the tubes, and thereby creating a venturi effect, which means that if you've studied that in physics, you'd know that with reduction in the diameter of the pipe, the flow of the shot is then accelerated. By how much it is accelerated, I cannot tell you. But yes, venturi effect is a thing, and I totally believe that the shot is getting faster. What I've observed personally shooting with this is it appears that it feels to me that I'm breaking the targets much better. When I hit them, they're like really cracking up, and I might be hitting better, but I'd say that I can clearly tell the difference between, or I could clearly observe the difference between the way targets break when I'm hitting it with my Silver Pigeon as against to the way they break when I'm hitting with my DT11 here. I'm gonna say that again, I'm not entirely sure if that is the reality. That's how I feel. It could also be placebo because, okay, come on, it's an awesome gun. You have something awesome in your hand and you really want to hit targets even better. Perhaps I'm concentrating even more. I cannot tell as of yet, but I'm pretty sure that it is just a little bit more than the placebo, and it definitely seems to work. The other thing of the Steelium Pro barrels is that due to this forcing cone, extended forcing cone, the experience recoil is also reduced. That's what Beretta claims. Again, there have been no experiments which have proven this, because it's highly subjective how you feel or perceive the recoil. But as I have perceived it, and as I have experienced it while shooting, you kind of experience it more when you are shooting doubles. And at shooting doubles, when you make your first shot, usually when I'm with my silver pigeon, my head shakes quite a bit, and the image becomes a bit fuzzy when I'm trying to locate the other one. But with the DT11, I've not had that problem so far. Again, I would say it could be a placebo, that I have an awesome gun in my hand. It's the best that Beretta has to offer. Maybe I'm a bit more disciplined when I'm shooting with my DT11. You will never know. But hey, at the end, it matters if you break the clay or not. And with my DT11, I am breaking more clays, and that's what makes me happy. Something that's debatable about these barrels is, again, the system here, or the point where these barrels are like joined together. It's quite debatable. Like, guys at my shooting range, there's a lot of people who are big fans of this chunky face, barrel face that you have here, like the breech face that you have here. It's quite chunky. I absolutely love it. It comes from the ASE days, where Beretta was making these designs for the barrels. They took it off for the other ones. I don't know why. I just love it. Like, it's solid. It's just tad bit smaller than the breech face itself onto the system. Yeah, just absolutely love it. Like, it gives you a feeling of solid lock, and it feels like you have something really awesome in your hand. You can see that the barrels are floating until here, and that's where it gets covered by the fore end stock. And from there on, you have like a ventilated rib in between over here in like the mid-breed. 20mm chokes. What I have right now is, like, I'm shooting skeets, so I have first here the cylinder choke, and on top I have the skeet choke. It works quite well for me. There are other chokes also in the box, like I said, except the steel choke, except the full choke, which is replaced by the skeet choke. But skeet choke that works quite well. What you do have is, obviously, this barrel is an Optima bore HP barrel, which means that it is steel proof, and also that the chokes are also the Optima choke HP technology, the newest that is now standard onto the silver pigeon as well. It's quite interesting to see that this is premium model, which was, I mean, this still the flagship gun. Back in 2012, they were not putting these exclusive, or this was exclusive to high-end guns like OHCP, OCHP, Optima choke HP technology, and Optima bore HP barrels. But now they're coming down to the other series versions, such as also for the silver pigeon, etc. Quite interesting to see. It does have it does not have, I mean, you cannot turn off the ejectors. They're always on. Obviously, it makes sense for sporting, where you just want to have quick reloads, given that the clock is always running. Makes quite a lot of sense. Like I said, I absolutely love this. Let's take a look at what all chokes that you get inside. Those are the chokes that you have. Like, for in, I have, these are the 20mm extended Optima choke HP sort of chokes, like the best chokes that you get. Since it's from 2012, you don't have these color-coded ones, but the new DT11s, although there's not much changed on, I mean, there's nothing changed on them except that they just give you color-coded chokes. It's just easy to change. Otherwise, since there are no notch marks on these chokes here, which you otherwise would see on the base model like silver pigeon, etc., it's quite hard to figure out what choke this is. Well, this is a modified choke. You can see it from the Beretta system that it is like 3 stars on it. The camera is probably not going to catch it. What you have in addition is the improved modified 2-star, and you also have the improved cylinder with marked with 4 stars exactly. The barrel, let me mention, also quite interesting for everyone, I would say, is bored, like for all Beretta barrels, at 18.6 millimeters, so quite standard 18.6 bore, and it has a barrel weight of, let me just check, I'm pretty sure it's like south of 1.5 kilograms. usually have it on well, it's exactly to be what it says on the barrel is exactly 1.5 kilograms. Quite sweet. Wanted to show you the face of the barrels over here. Yeah, this is the shoulder, the lockup shoulder that I was talking about. The crossbow just goes across over here and puts this in place, and the barrel just cannot, I mean, that just is such a solid lock that personally I would say that there's nothing better than that. Fits quite well. Let's talk about what is the demand of this gun. This gun, DT11s are sought after, like really sought after guns in the resale market, for several reasons. First of all, they're built like a tank, in the sense that they would never break virtually. You have to go through, I don't know, I've never been through it, but I have heard a lot of guns that have lasted up to 1 million rounds. It's a significant performance from a firearm that you use so often, and so in sometimes hostile conditions, I would say, where you're like shooting rounds and rounds and thousands of rounds in a day. Given that into perspective, they are sought after a lot in the used market. It makes all, I mean, you hardly find any gun which is in good shape, or even to say in this extraordinarily good shape, and it is available for more than a couple of days on the internet to buy. I just happened to look over, I found this gun. I did not make any double thoughts. I just had a quick call about with the seller, and I just bought it. Just had to buy it. So they're like really sought after guns on the internet. You don't see them quite often, at least in Germany. Used ones for sale, new you would get, but then you have to shell out a chunk of money, and 7 to 8 grand when you buy it new. And if you go for black models, they are up to 8,000 to 9,000 euros brand new in Germany. That's quite a chunk of change that you have to give out for a gun like this. It's still, by all means, if you have the money, go for it, and because the gun will not lose its worth. Used gun market, depending upon how the condition of it is, you will get to buy a DT11 anywhere between 5 and 5.5 grand. And that's exactly what I paid for this one. 5 grand, a little, I would say a little more than 5,000 euros is what I paid for this shotgun. I'm totally happy about it. Like I said, the pictures did not make justice to this beautiful gun. And the wood and the finishing, everything is top notch. It has seen some use, but that's what you get. You're not buying a new firearm. Everything is tight, everything fits perfectly, and everything is spot on. One thing that I've also observed, and I researched the internet and I also found it out, because the only thing that was, if you notice here, the inline paint is gone. Like in the accent, there is like a little bit of paint, the blue paint, the Beretta blue paint is gone on this side. On the other side, it's completely there. Yeah, so this side is completely there. There's no paint gone. Also on the underside, there is the Beretta logo and also the model name DT11. Everything is nice and blue and perfect, like it came out of the factory. But on this side, you see a little bit of loss of paint. I was a bit worried about the handling, how was not really sure how the user, the previous owner used it. But I looked up over the internet and came across the fact that this has been a very common issue with the DT11s, where the paint just goes off. I think it's quite interesting on a firearm at such a high end that a finishing like this goes off. People might debate about it, but to be honest, this gun is not what you buy for looks. If you want to go for looks and still performance, go for the EE, or the L model, or whatever you want. But in this case, it's a workhorse. It's gonna train. It's your training buddy, and it's gonna be pushing rounds out. It will always be there. It will always shoot exactly where you want to shoot it, and that's what it is for. And that's what it will do from the day you buy it until the day you've shot 1 million rounds, or maybe even more. Doesn't really bother me. Sometimes I do think about stealing the nail paint from some nail paint from my girlfriend and put it in over here. There are a lot of videos about how do you fill it, but to be honest, I don't really care. I just love the gun, the way it looks like, and a little bit of blue paint. I don't really care. Did this happen to your DT11? If so, put on the comments. Let me know. I'd like to hear from you what you did. Did you just remove it entirely, or did you repaint it? Right. Well, that's all about this awesome, beautiful gun. Well, before I forget and move on, let me show you what's also inside the spare parts box. You also get this small spare parts box. Quite interesting. Let me just open it up. You do have a small tool which I put inside my box for the stock adjustment. What you also have is a set of, I do have like two spare front beads. I have a firing pin spring. I have two firing pin spares, and there's also a trigger spare. And I think there was none in my case, but you do get it in the box. You know, it's one here mounted over here. That's about it. A beautiful gun. If you get a deal, go for it. Absolutely awesome. Shoots perfect. I trained with it 2 days before my competition, and I did one a bronze. I would not entirely dedicate the success to the gun, but obviously holding a legendary firearm like this, the best that Beretta has to offer, and the best that there is in the sporting world today, it kind of demands respect, and I think a bit more discipline, and that could also be a reason why your scores start going up. Anyway, do you have a DT11? What was your experience? Do you have anything else that you'd like to share with me? Comment on this video, and I'd like to hear from you. If you like the content of my channel, please like and subscribe to the channel. I'm trying to grow the channel. It's pretty new. Trying to find out what you guys like, and therefore it's a little bit of work that goes along with your likes and your subscription. It motivates me to keep doing and producing this content for you.